This is how the cabin noise is with the bad motor mounts. I think it's like 50 something degrees out. Cold start. Yeah, it's not good. To get to the transmission mount underneath, we need to remove the battery. With a battery gun, that's also let me just get the tray out of here, put that off to the side, and then we have this bracket, which is being held on by a bunch of 10s or 12 millimeters. All of these are 12s, and I'm going to try to keep them organized as I go. These are a tiny bit rusted and corroded, not much, but just enough to like make some screeching. I actually did remove these in the past whenever I was doing the shifter cable bushings, which is also on my YouTube channel, so these are easy to remove. Those first two are 12s, the next two are 10 millimeters, which also hold in the ECU bracket, and I don't believe I have to remove the ECU directly, more of just like lift it up and out of the way. I removed the ECU cooler pipe by just bending it over that way and then pulling out the bottom piece first, so I'm just going to set that off to the side. And ECU moves a little freely, but the one thing that's keeping it in is this bolt right here, which you're going to need a swivel socket to get. 10 millimeter extension swivel socket. It peeks out just enough for you to grip it, I think. Yeah, it's just not all the way tightened down. Yep, I got it. Be careful with this as you don't want to lose it to the void, which I'm about to do, honestly. I'm going to try to be very careful with the ECU housing here. It's still underneath the battery tray bracket, which also has another bolt in it, but I can't get to that with the ECU thing in the way. At least I thought it's down there, I just can't get to it. Gotta figure out how. I disconnected the top of the airbox so I could get the intake pipe out of the way, so I could get this wiring harness out of the way, which I believe just goes up a little bit, and I can move the ECU more freely. I just need to move the ECU, that's the only thing in the way. I'm cooking, chat, so I got this end out by wiggling it to the left and then around the corner, and then it's stuck on just this part right here, this where the blue tab goes on, which is also coincidentally the transmission mount itself that's stuck on. So I'm trying to get the right side free, and then once this can actually like bend out of the way, I can get to the transmission mount, because this is just directly on top of it. You know, I see this thing every single time I open my engine bay, but I never actually... It's so huge. This thing is actually so huge. I never actually like acknowledge that. I don't want to remove it. I'm just trying to figure out how to get around it. That's all. The only solution I could think of is give myself as good of a reach as. Oh shoot! Don't want to knock over any answer bolts. Give myself as good of a reach as possible to that bolt right there. That's on the transmission mount, and get it with a wrench. Because I can't remove the ECU. I don't know how. Is this connector supposed to look like this? Especially since it's very loose. Isn't that all technically like grounding on each other? What? With all the cords unplugged here, at least these four, I didn't unplug the blue one. Also, I don't know if it's supposed to look like that or not. But I just undid the little tube here for keeping all the dirt out, which gave me just enough movement to lift this up and out, just a little bit. Now I could actually reach that. That's a 12 millimeter. I just needed the ECU out of the way, honestly. And now with that just out of the way, here's our transmission mount. I removed the tiny rusty 12 millimeter bolt right there. I'm just gonna put it in my collection, get my ratchet out of the way, and then this should just lift up and out of the way. And let me just like... Ew. I'm not spray painting that. Transmission mount right here. The next step, the fun part, lift up the transmission just a little bit. Jack it up at a good point. This is a manual transmission, so I don't have the transmission pan, but there should be an area down there. Let me find it real quick and show you. Just where my jack is, right there, right where my left hand is, there's a spot. Just like a semi-flat spot. I'm gonna jack it up right there. I'm gonna find a way to actually like get that lever moving with this lever. I took a little bit of stress off of the transmission, not a lot, but just enough to get this 14 millimeter off. I know this is 14, just gotta like figure out. There we go. That's the nut side though, so I can loosen it quite easily actually. What the heck? first bolt was kind of hard to remove, so I got some WD-40 on every other bolt, and this I don't think I could reach without a flare nut wrench. This one's in a very weird spot. I got the flare nut wrench on the bolt while this is the first time I've ever actually used this wrench trick to put 2 wrenches together for more torque. But it worked, I got it loose. So the last 2 issues I'm having are the bolt down there and the bolt right here. So what I'm going to do is swivel socket to get this 10 mil off for the clutch line, and be very careful with that. I'm just going to maybe move it abruptly. And then I'm going to get my deep 14mm socket on here with the breaker bar to get it that loose. I just need space. With the clutch line moved out of the way just a little bit, this was really easy to break loose. You gotta get the right tools for the right job, the right tools for the job. I also got the through bolt loosened already, and it's out actually. The through bolt's right there. And for this other one, let's see if I can even get it from this. I may have to get, yeah, I'm gonna have to get it from down below. From down below, I got the breaker bar with the deep 14 on there. This is a half inch to 6.14 deep 14mm socket. I got it from Advanced Auto for like $7, so this is a nice tool to have. If everything is going according to plan, then this the clutch line is attached to it. That's interesting. I didn't see that on that side. The clutch line is, what is it, like a 12mm? I fed the through bolt back in and I put some WD-40 on this so I don't ruin the threads. And then this is like having a hard time loosening up, but it is loosening. It's a good thing I got the WD-40 on there. I did not know there was a mount to the clutch line. That's gonna suck to get back in. And now if everything goes according to plan, this should just slide on out of there. Come on, give it to me. On camera, give it to me. Had to do that off camera. Look at this thing. Oh, it's cracked right there. That can't be good. Look at that gap. Wait, let me look at the gap comparison. That's like, ooh, I'm tearing it. Look at that. That's not nice. That's not good. And this one, the fresh new one, bam, squishy. This one is gone. Oh my god. Like, I didn't think it would be that bad, but it is that bad. Just look at the gap comparison between the two. Before I install the new one, I'm just going to make sure the area over here is clean. There's just like a little bit of sand kicked up in there. I don't know how the heck sand got in there, but I'm just going to clean up whatever I can. I'm not going to use a wire brush since I don't think I'll fit it in here, but just make the area look nice, I guess. The new one got fed in the same way I got the old one out. The clutch line has to be above the transmission, the transmission mount right there. And one, that will go there. I gotta get that, yeah, you get the point. Well, I put the through bolts in and I only hand tightened both sides. I'm going to get the 4 main bolts in there and torque down all the ones that I can. Oh. That's interesting. I got to figure out how to get that in there. This took a little bit of fighting because this bolt wasn't wanting to thread in because I'm pretty sure the chassis side needs to be rethreaded. Geez, that was fun to get in, but I got all 4 of those bolts in. I just got the through bolt in. I'm going to tighten it and then torque down these and then lower the transmission and then torque down that. I cannot get a torque wrench on this bolt, so I'm going to tighten as much as I can with what I have. And yeah. The torque spec for the bolts are 47 foot-pounds. So I'm just going to get the top one here first, the one I was having trouble with. 47 is going to be a lot, so I'm prepared for it, because that 20-something was a lot as well. Wow, that's a lot. Oh my god. But this tool makes it easy. Having the right tools for the job makes it very easy. This one's not even tight, so it's gonna be a moment. Oh? Did I just break something? No, don't think I broke something. $47. And then the one on the bottom, which I don't even have tight at all, that also goes down to 47. Oh, that's gonna be fun. The metal isn't bent correctly. Oh geez. See this down here? The metal is not bent appropriately. So the more I tighten it down, the more I'm gonna bend the metal. Oh geez. I had a flare nut wrench on the bolt side and I tightened it down a little bit with on the nut side, and now I'm going to lower the engine slowly. Now that the transmission mount is actually like on the transmission, I'm gonna torque that down. Before I do that, look how much of a mess I made. That was just one of the transmission mounts. I plan on doing the transmission one that I just did, the front one and the passenger one. This was the hardest one I could think of, other than the rear. The rear is gonna be hard, but I did this one first because I knew it was gonna be the hardest. The channel I was following for the belt tensioner, I am also using their video. Even though they're doing it on a Corolla, it's still similarly applied. They torqued it down to 38, so I can't find the torque spec, and I don't feel like going to the... Oh, I can't even fit a torque wrench in here, can I? At least... Can I? Maybe? Please? Let me? Let me? I can't do that. I can't fit that torque wrench in there. Not with this. Since I can't do that, I'm going to tighten it down as much as I can. My other torque wrench doesn't even go up to 38, so I know darn well that just tightening it with this 14 mil will be better than torquing it down. Because even then, whenever the nut is also spinning, the bolt's spinning. Whenever I actually loosened it up, it wasn't even that tight, and I loosened it with this wrench. I'm just gonna tighten it as much as I can and call it a day. If I could even get the flare nut wrench on there, nice. Oh shit, that sounded interesting. That sounded like it went on there. One more go just for good luck. Yep, that's tight. That's tight on there. I'm not getting that anywhere else. Now I get to take the clutch line bolts and put them back on. This one, it's going to be hard to line this up. This one will go underneath, and then the other one will go on top of that. Still got to keep the ECU a little free so I can do all this. I got both of the clutch line bolts on there. Transmission mounts in there, clutch line bolt is mounted down. Next is the battery tray, which I think this bolt specifically was the one that went to right here. Yeah, it is. I'm going to keep that relevant. That's 10 mils, those are 10 mils, and then the two bigger ones are 12 mils. I'm going to put the two 12 mil nuts on the strut for now. And then put those, just keeping everything organized. Let me just, I guess, put this down real quick to see where everything else lines up. Everything's going to line up on that. Yep. And now I need the ECU still free so I could put the, which one of these bolts went to the, right there? Neither of those two. There's another bolt for that. Oh, I see it. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it, the really stubby bolt. It goes right on the transmission mount. It's a 12 millimeter. I could even thread that in. Thread the freaking needle. These are all old rusty bolts. Ooh, I got it. Yeah, I know my head's in the way of the camera a lot. I apologize for that, but I'd rather just do this on camera. Just to give a live POV of it. I kind of hate this transmission mount. Its location sucks, and everything about it just sucks. Oh, can I get the ECU tray back underneath it? Hope so. Yeah, I can, easily. It just, this one line right here, if it just disconnect this, unplug the 4 wires, disconnect this thing just a little bit, just that way you could freely move the ECU tray. Put that wiring harness back there, and then there are, let me get y'all zoom in now. Let me take you off the tripod, gang. Just lining up the ECU container tray, whatever, with the 2 bolts holes right here. Yes or no? I don't know. That's the wrong one. You get the point.